All right, we are live, and it's weird starting the stream off by myself. Let's see. Let me know who's in chat so I can start talking to you guys. It'll be a little bit more interesting as we go along. Let's see. It might actually go really, really fast just because I have no one to hit it off with. We might have John coming in a little bit later. However, he's currently at his daughter's. He's at his daughter's dance recital, which I'm not sure if it's ballet, hip hop, whichever. Oh, Cameron. Okay. Hey. And then Jake might be on if he can get home in time. Maybe. I don't know. Honestly, I try to keep this open, or if you're part of the chat, you should see that I invite a few people. Or just a few different people, or honestly, whoever. But today, since I'm by myself for now, we're just going to go over just the typical things that we know. I guess not know, but calendar events. Hey, Austin. Hey, Brian. So yeah, calendar events, and then let me go pop open Discord just so that we have that going here. If you noticed, I had a picture of a camera of my radio. Now it's my Apple Watch, kind of. Let me see if I can get Discord up without too much hassle here. But I thought since it's gonna be by myself, we'll go over some 7pxr things. Update my username. I'll do that later. So if you have any questions, then we can go over it one by one. I'm gonna go over the GYD 550 endpoints and all that fun stuff. We can even go over receiver updates and even just generic updates on the 7pxr, which means that it should also work on the 10px and 7px as well, at least the same type of style. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Oh, Aza from last week mentioned a piece on batteries might be good. Types, plugs, care, maintenance, safety. Guy at the last meet I had a battery explode on the charger and continue burning even after being covered in a bucket of sand. Yeah, guys, those LiPo fires are not an easy thing. They are completely sketch. And the fumes are the worst part of it. So be aware of that, because it's not a good thing. Especially blowing up batteries. We've had, 2 occurrences that I know of at Northwest Hobbies, and I'm sure that there's been more battery explosions. One was actually racing on the track, which for most of them, most of those racing guys that are taking it serious are actually racing or charging their batteries at 40 amps and also discharging their batteries at 40 amps as well, just to get heat in the battery. And it apparently reduces battery resistance, so that they get as much out of their batteries as they can. Some would say that it's healthy for the batteries. I haven't seen it's going to decrease the longevity of your battery for sure. So it's kind of not even a 50-50. It's going to decrease it no matter what. Never charge batteries indoors again. Now I'm sure you will, because it's hard to get around, and it's nice to be able just to walk over to a charger. But I get it. John has had a LiPo fire in his home. I've had another friend have a LiPo fire. It was on his washer, and it basically blew up. The amount of fire damage that's there is not, it's not good. Charlie had a battery almost explode at PDX last night. Yeah. Was it something was it crossing leads, or was it just an old battery that needed to be was it puffed? Was it not balancing cells? Basically, when I decide to like toss a battery, or when I decide that the battery is like done, at least for me, I'll essentially it'll get to the point where the cells will not balance at all. So I'll always put my batteries on for 6 amps, and just kind of let them go. And if it comes to the point where the batteries are taking excessively long to figure out what's going on, like if they don't charge within a reasonable amount of time, then I'll take it off, and then I'll check the resistance of each cell, and then I'll go ahead and basically discard the battery, discharge it, discard the battery the proper way. On most of our chargers, guys, you can there's a battery resistance option that you can check, at least for like the 90% of chargers that are all the same, right? You press hold to enter, you select your charge amps, the number of cells. If you know what I'm talking about, you know, like literally all the battery chargers that are there on the market are almost the same, like same exact thing. Let's see. I guess we can start off with that. We're already in it. Okay, so let me actually pull up a window and we can do some browsing, because then we can go over a few different battery brands and whatnot. Let me get this, and let's go to AMain Hobbies, just because. And I'm gonna pop this up. Window capture. Here we go. Window capture. And I'm just gonna pop this up here. Okay, so let's go along the kind of long journey of what I've found as batteries and what they work and what works. And I'm not keeping an eye on that, so let's go ahead. I have a feeling that there's going to be only a few people in this stream, you guys. Okay, so batteries that I've used the Reedy Wolfpack, or not Wolfpack, the Zippy batteries, I believe, or Zappers. That's what they're called. More specifically, oh, it was right there actually. So this is what I started off with. However, it looks like they've increased the C rating on these. They used to only be 80 Cs, and the milliamp hours was 4,100 instead of only 4,000. This is still not a cheap battery. It's $63. Oh, okay. It's $63.89. Even at like team costs that I can get, it's still an expensive batteries. John in chat just mentioned the Gens Ace high voltage batteries, which is what I'm running right now. So they're the red line, and it's this guy right here. Okay, so $45.49. This is pretty much all day pricing for a Gens Ace Redline 4000 milliamps. It's 5 millimeters, it's 130C, 4000 milliamps. Charge them all day at 6 amps. These I've had let's see, I've had a total of 5 of them now. Technically 2 of them are dead. Yeah. Now it's not for the lack of like running too much boost or just like mistreating, well, it's mistreating them ultimately. It comes down to like lipo maintenance, because essentially if our batteries are not at storage voltage when we're trying to like just keep them around for a bit, that's when it kind of gets a little bit hairy. Like if you leave your batteries charged, if you leave your lipos charged, it can kind of like lose your overall. It's not like a NIM where you can just run it down all the way and then expect it to come back up and then still be like, it'll still kind of wear itself away. as you go through charge cycles, but at the same time, it's still not like the happy place. Like, think of it as like you're at the gas station, right? And you're filling your tank with gas in your real car, talking about real cars. And like it's the, well, in Oregon at least, because we have someone fill our gas tanks for us because it's a job. But it's like when you pull the trigger, like after it clicks off, and you like either round up to the next cent or to the next whatever, not the next dollar, right? Just to make it easier for your eyes for some reason. It's not going to do anything to our cars, but it is like overfilling it, I guess you could say. I guess it's not too good of an example here, but like when we charge our batteries to the full capacity, we're overvolting where the happy value is. That's why the storage voltage of LiPo batteries is like 80%, I believe. 80% of the actual stored value. I know a lot of people that do run ProTech batteries. There's nothing wrong with them. It's just whatever you want to run. ProTech is, I think, AMain's battery, and the Scale Reflex battery, I believe, is Scale Reflex is basically the Super G brand, and honestly, it's a good cheap battery. I haven't used one yet, but for the price, let's see if we can find one here. Let's see if we can go to LiPo's batteries. Every single Muchmore battery I've had puffed kind of prematurely, nothing really special. So these are very low capacity batteries, but at the same time, they're just as expensive as the Redlines. A little bit less in capacity, but at the same time, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Like, if you just carry around 3 or 4 of these, then you're never ever going to be at a time where you're like, where you don't have enough time to like charge a battery, right? Because one battery is still going to probably last about 30 or 40 minutes, depending on how you run it. It is 4mm bullets, though. Nothing big. It's just a preference. That's all. But guaranteed 18.5 millimeters, it's going to fit in all of our new chassis. And you can get different colors. Yeah. Different little cut colors. So as I was talking about, let's see, types, plugs, care, maintenance. Let's talk about types. So there's going to be 2 main types. One is going to be lithium polymer, and then lithium polymer high voltage. And then as far as radios go, well, we can talk about those. You're either going to run into LiPos, NIMs, AA's, or even Life batteries. And the Life batteries is kind of like where we want to be, just because it's very they're stable, right? What is this? Oh, Austin, you did a thing. Okay. Oh, it looks like... Oh, nope. This was through the week. We also got pictures from Mitch. Anyway, so Life batteries for your radios, LiPo or LiPo HV or high voltage for your cars. The difference between high voltage and regular LiPos, so regular LiPos are going to be at 7.4 volts when they're happy. They charge up to 8.4. And then high voltage batteries, they're going to be up at 7.6 volts and go up to 8.6, I believe. The difference is negligible. I don't think you're going to notice anything in terms of like performance increase or decrease. You might get a little bit more RPMs, but I don't think it's going to be anything special. At least not by much. Okay. Let's see. Discord. Thanks for the topic, Azza, because I honestly didn't have a good route of where I wanted to go with tonight, especially if I was gonna be by myself. What I've heard is that you can charge your high voltage batteries just at regular LiPo voltage at 7.4 instead of 7.6. It's fine. To be honest, if anything, it's going to keep your batteries more normalized than anything else. The high voltage label is just the fact that they are rated for that difference. Like, that's all. No, it's not. LiPo high voltage isn't a crazy difference. It just runs strong. Like, oh, this stupid heart is in the way. What does it say? Like it should. Yeah. And what was that? So we'll go on to plugs here. My favorite type of plug, I think we're going to go back to A main. My favorite type of plug, and this is a debatable topic, you guys. These are my favorite type of plugs right here. So it's the Yeah Racing interchangeable plugs. Now, it's kind of a hit or miss depending on who you talk to, because what happens is that these they're little flat terminals that you get, and then you cover that terminal with this plastic shroud, and then you can screw in the 4mm or the 5mm bullet connector in, right? So the thing that happens with these is that since there's really nothing holding it in, like, you don't want to Loctite these, because these are supposed to be conductive, right? But you do want to make sure that those are nice and tight, or at least firmly secured and seated for those threads, because time and time again I've pulled my car off the track and have known that has come unscrewed, right? So you'll just casually have to remember to screw them back in. I've got Jake has actually had them to the point where it's actually affecting his car, affecting it enough where it's either overheating or it's just cutting out. Luckily it wasn't in competition. Hey Mitch, how's it going? But yeah, these are great, you guys, because if you do have a different battery, then you can always switch it out. Like, if you have a battery for different plugs, or if you're just in a pinch and your battery just blew up and everyone is only running 4mm or 5, whatever battery anyone has, right? They're great, and they're the easiest connectors that I've soldered, to be honest, because they're hidden, right? The other connectors that I use, it's by One Up Racing, and they're these guys. These ones are cool. Not cheap, definitely not cheap. And essentially what happens is that you just solder these on like a standard connector, right? But you have to get the solder mount high enough to the point where these little screws, you can, like, you either get a longer grub screw or you solder it high enough so that these grub screws can lock these connectors in place. They look super fantastic. They are really, really good. Hey Jesse, what's going on? The other version of these, oh, what did I do? The other version of these that I've used is, nope, still One Up Racing. These ones, again, same idea, but you have to make sure that the solder is up high enough to the point where, like, you'll catch, like, it's pressure fit, basically. And it's not pressure fit by, like, the thickness of the connector, it's pressure fit by the mound of solder that's there. So just keep that in mind. A little bit of CA glue could also help there. But these are my second favorites after the Yeah Racings, just because they're a little bit easier to pull out. And of course, we can always go Dean's connectors. Oh, okay. Apparently not. Oh, they're gray. These are weird. Not my favorite connectors because I mean they're fine. They've been in like the RC standard for who knows how long. As well as like the Tamiya connector and now the XT60 connectors. But these ones are notorious for like melting a little bit too fast. So if you're not good with solder, like if you're just over patient and give the metal too much heat, the plastic will melt fairly fast, and then you'll have kind of a slightly warped Dean's connector, both on either side. So not my favorite, and yeah, we'll leave it there. XT60. Now, I guess the whole debate is whether you run bullets or you actually run a connector, right? More people are running bullets now just because either we came from racing and that's what we know, or at the same time it just looks cleaner, or at the same time it's just that's what you were told to run, so that's what you run. These connectors make it so that it's kind of stupid proof, or at least we try to make it stupid proof, but nothing is ever stupid proof, because on most batteries that we're getting the batteries that have the bullet connectors on them anyway. So it's kind of like, well, why don't you just use bullets on like your original on your ESC wires, right? And it's just like, yeah, well, what I would say is that it comes down to just like whatever is your muscle memory, right? Although at the same time, muscle memory has definitely blown up a few ESCs for me. So I think out of a total of my career, I've blown 5 ESCs by reversing battery polarity, which is not fun. It is what it is, but at the same time, it's the smell that comes out of those things because of burnt electronics. That's the worst. Random factoid, if you like car audio like me, the XT90 connectors, this is really deceptive because these things are a lot bigger than what these look like. XT90 connectors make great quick disconnects for subs, and like it's blocked off because it's a connector. So like if they are disconnected, I'm not worried that my amp is going to be all like weird and shorted out just from an open wire, like kind of running around in the trunk. So heads up. If you know who Steve Mead is, I think his magnetic terminals are like the absolute coolest thing, but at the same time they are super expensive. Super expensive. John, always zip tie the jump wires where you can't cross is my biggest fear. Yeah. Oh, so a lot of newer chassis where the battery is running in line, that's where it gets crazy for me, because it's like you can't necessarily like make one of the wires intentionally shorter, which is what I've been doing like recently for my cars, so I can't do that. But then again, the Gens Ace batteries, the ProTech batteries, the Power RC lipos, like all of the lipos that have through holes and you can flip them upside down, those will get you. So what I've been doing in that case is that I've actually been taking like a paint pen and painting the red side of the battery, or the red terminal circle. That way I know which side I'm plugging into always. But as far as connectors go, take your pick. There's nothing wrong with any of the connectors. It's just whatever you choose to go with. Whatever's safe and whatever is good for you. If you run bullets, just know that there's always a risk of reversing your polarity. There are ESCs that have reverse polarity on them. I think the Hobbywing D10 or the Hobbywing the whatever XD10 has it. I know that the AccuVance Rad and the AccuVance Zarvis XX both have reverse polarity protection on them. Also know that if you do reverse polar, put in your battery terminals backwards, and your capacitor is not reverse polarized or like capable of that, or a non-polarity capacitor, then your capacitor is screwed and you will need to replace it with a new one, preferably with a non-polarized cap. Hobbywing has them, Yokomo has them. I don't think AccuVance has one yet. I put red vinyl strip. Why is it put red vinyl strip on my Plus? Yep. I use heat shrink wrap as well. Like, the louder it is, the better, that's for sure. Okay, Care. Lipo Care. So, how many of you actually discharge your batteries? Like, legitimately put the battery either back on the charger to discharge it, or have like an actual discharger? I have a discharger, and it's the Sky RC. It's like the something 250. Yeah, this thing. And yeah, the Oniseki. So here's the thing about capacitors. If we are still including what do we want? Oh crap. Wow, I am scatterbrained. If we still want to talk about polarized capacitors, just throwing them in the mix, the Racing, the Oniseki are going to be your cheapest contenders at like $25 and $30, I think. Then when you step up into Hobbywing and Yokomo, Hobbywing is going to be around like 45, 50, like up to 60, depending on what you get. The Yokomo ones are going to be around 40 to 60 as well. And then if you step into the AccuVance world of capacitors, then you're looking at anywhere in between $45 for their turbo capacitor, but if you get their Blaze, it's like $85, $90 capacitor. So in this case, it's kind of still the same game as like you get what you pay for, but at the same time, I don't think we're paying for that much of a performance margin. The Oniseki, the Racing, both of them do fine for what they're supposed to do. Okay, what else do we have? I use Gen Z's charger to put it. Okay, likely I drive mine so much that I never put them in storage. Okay. So we'll talk about that. So here's why my Gen Ace batteries and my other batteries eventually puff. What happens is I'll go to the track, I'll run my laps, right? The thing is that I have like 6 batteries typically. I'll maybe run down 2 or 3 of them just because I don't end up driving that much. I'll either end up I'll usually end up talking to someone or just like helping someone out with their car. Today I was helping out Cameron with his car, trying to figure out a little bit of the movement of the chassis while in the corner, trying to make it a little bit more agile, more of a follow car than just a lead car. That was today's little thing. And then I had to leave early for other things. Okay, but what would happen is that I would leave the track, and then I'd totally just leave my batteries in the bag. They were charged, and that was it, right? So over time, that's when those batteries would eventually puff, right? They'd still take a while to get to the point where they weren't balancing, but at the same time, that's what I needed to do. So this is kind of like the overall fix for it. This is an upgraded version, it looks like, because I think the maximum discharge volt amps that mine can do is 25. But this is cool. So it can take your fully charged battery from a like 8.4, 8.6 volts, all the way down to 7.4 volts is where I set it, in about 15 to 20 minutes. That way you don't have to wait for the battery for hours and hours on end while you're like connected to your typical charger. Because most chargers, they can discharge, but they're only going to discharge at like 1 amp. Brian, here's a question. In a 4-car train, what position is the most difficult to be in? I think. So, the chat just looks a little bit weird is all. Because I'm not looking at the direct YouTube one. Jake, do you want to be on the stream? I sent you a link, or I sent everybody in that chat a link. Or you could just not. It depends. It depends on like kind of the overall line, and yeah, it just depends on who you're driving with, because first is lead, so you always have the pressure of the train like just behind you and being consistent, right? Or you being consistent, and then essentially being so consistent that everyone can follow you, right? But yeah, fourth, what I usually do is I'll usually tail the end, because then it doesn't matter, right? And you can always screw up and not mess anybody else up. But yeah, third or anywhere else just in the middle of the line, I would say, is the more aggravating thing, just because, well, the second or third, or just in the middle of the line in general, because you have to worry about the lead car and giving him space, and then you have to worry about the car behind you and if they're going to do something weird, right? So I guess it's just a general basis of, does everyone understand like how much distance that they're looking for in terms of a train? And this is my personal opinion. It's not like the letter of the law, right? It's just the thing. It's just my personal opinion. But honestly, as long as everyone has this same idea of like, we're not banging doors, or as long as everybody knows how to do, like, give the car in front enough time to like, so that they can transition, then you'll have some really good trains. That's when good trains go. That's why team tandems work so well, because you have like your team of guys and you're talking about where you want to initiate and where you want to like kind of either get closer or spread a little bit apart to allow for the more technical parts of the track. Back to batteries. Maintenance. So we're talking about maintenance. So what I do is I'm going to be discharging my batteries after every time I leave the track. I'm still bad about it. Like, I still need to discharge the battery packs from today, but at the same time, I'll try to get to it as soon as I can. That way they can be in their little happy spot of LiPo storage mode. So if you're not doing LiPo storage mode right now, I highly suggest that you do, just so that you can get a little bit more life out of your batteries, because it's never fun buying a $45 battery. And if you buy this more expensive batteries, it's never fun to do that either. Sam, that's why I like the iDuo charger. It can just charge quick with a $40 discharge receiver or back into itself. Yeah. So the iDuo chargers are really, really cool. You can plug in a separate discharger is what he's talking about. And man, you can discharge at 40 amps. And those batteries get nice and hot. Nice and hot. What are you saying, Sam? Remember the like 14-car train after our first regional comp? That was savage. Never forget. And it's funny because like when we do tandems like that, it's almost at a complete random thing. It's not like we're stopping everyone and we're saying, hey, let's do a tandem, right? Or let's do a train. It just happens. And when you have a competition set of group guys there, it makes it, I would say, a little bit easier, because everyone's in that mindset. Everyone has the ability to like just be up and close, or wants to be up and close. A lot of times, my friend would say, "Let's work together, everybody," as we're going around the expo track, because that's what it is. We're all working together. Safety about lipos. Yeah, apparently last night was a good night for PDX. I saw a lot of good vibes in the chat, at least our chat. If you know, you know. Safety about lipos, you guys. So if you have a suspicion that lipos are not going to be trustworthy, like any suspicion, lean on that suspicion. Because it's better to be safe than sorry. Oh, now he wants it. Okay. Oh. Hold on, you guys. I've got too many windows open. Here we go. Jake, it's in the Little Skids chat if you just scroll up. I take it back, it's not there. Oops. Oh my gosh, hopefully that works. Or I can just copy and paste. There we go. There we go. Okay. So Jake will probably be on in a few seconds. Minutes. Maybe. Alrighty. Where do we want to go? Got too many things up on my windows, you guys. Too many things. Where's my Discord? There's my Discord. Yeah, so lean on being safe than sorry, and at any cause or at any case. As I said, he was charging his batteries only outside, like at the beginning, right? It's like I've come to a few points of time where I'm like, okay, when I'm discharging this battery, when I do discharge like all the way to 0 volts, it's outside and it's using like one of the old NIM like plug into a light bulb type of thing, and it just goes and goes and goes until it dies. Then that gets it low enough to where I can just call it safe, and then it'll be recycled sometime later. If the battery does go off after track, I hope you know where the extinguishers are. There was one time when I was in the bathroom over at Northwest, all I heard was Elliot yelling fire. It was surprising and comical, at least while I was there. But then I found out what happened. It was someone's crawler battery. Yeah, it was a crawler battery that decided to blow up. Oh, here we go. Hey, Jake.
Hey, what's going on?
Not much. Let me get a window up for you here.
Hey, what's going on?
Not much. Let me get a window up for you here.
What are the topics for tonight?
Hold on.
Is that on there? I don't think I got that.
No, you didn't get it yet. Topics are kind of wide open. Hold on, I'm trying to get Jake on screen. Okay, it's gonna look a little bit weird to you guys just for a little bit, but I'll fix it. Yep, fixing right now. Wow. And if you guys have any questions just in chat, like throw them up there and then we can answer them. Jake, you are now a part of the chat or a part of the thing. Long ways ago. Oh. Cole picked up a really cool car.
He's had that car for a while, I think.
Oh, has he? Okay.
Yeah. Do you think the lead car in the train should go slow and help group or just run?
No. The lead car should drive as wide as lines as he can while still driving the track properly.
Yeah, but also not trying to like run away. Just drive smooth, steady, consistent.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what makes for, a good train.
For
Like,
sure.
I think it was Judd. Did Judd say that we had like good trains last night?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, they were real good. I was shocked.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize it. I looked back and there was like 10 cars. I was like, oh man, because I was leading, and then it just kept getting longer and longer and longer.
That's good.
Wow. Yeah, it was awesome.
It's hilarious. It's not hilarious, but it's awesome at how like the skill has just progressed so far and so fast. Always impressed right now.
Yeah. Charlie has a shark, and that thing is just an animal too. It drives so freaking good.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. Super smooth.
And everyone's literally abandoning their chassis for an RDX.
Yeah, it was kind of funny because I brought mine last night and I was driving that, and I was like, Charlie, you got a shark, but you should have got RDX. And he's like, I just got this thing.
No, and okay, so Shark the World. Yeah, that was our inside joke for a while.
Right.
Actually, no, it's a TK Block the World.
TK Block, yeah.
I still stand by that.
Yeah, same.
But yeah, it's like I just wish people or the guys that are ditching their own chassis to get an RDX, like to sell one for the other. Okay, sure, whatever. But to say that like, or to get so frustrated because the RDX drives so well out of the box, that I think is short, like not enough credit to the chassis that they were running before.
Yeah.
Because like, yeah, I can say that the RDX is a good chassis and it performs absolutely great, but from where my cars are at right now to where the RDX is, I don't think it's that big of a difference, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a great starting point. That I will always say.
Yeah. I mean, it's if you want to get into the hobby and not spend a lot of money, get an RDX. If you can, get an RDX. If you can find one.
Right. RC Mart just got a big pallet in, and
really?
Yeah, and then A Main says July 7th is when their back ordered date is. So
okay, yeah, a couple weeks, 3 weeks ish.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I wish people would give. Well, I guess it's kind of like not knowing, right? Because you start out with something that requires so much tuning, and then you just build the RDX, and then you're instantly.
Well, that's exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, it's like I have a lot of cars, but it's kind of frustrating because it's like, you buy the RDX and you put it together and it just drives amazing. There's a couple small things you can do: change diff, change electronics, and that's basically it.
Drill pistons.
But, drill pistons. Yeah, I'm actually running my Axon shocks right now, but
so drill pistons.
Yeah, I need to build the stock once. I finished building the RDX at like 1 a.m. and I haven't built the shocks yet, and I was like, I did not feel like building shocks at 1 a.m.
Right.
So I just put the Axons on for now.
It's like, we're gonna do this.
Yeah.
But it's all Yokomo based, right? So like, you should have just been able to slap them on there.
Yeah, exactly. I just put different upper ball studs on there. So
right on.
The Yokomo, yeah.
John, Shark versus MC1 comparison. You and I have both setups. I
still do have both setups.
Yeah.
So, That is actually a really good question, because the first comp of our Super G series, I ran an MC1, and then directly after that competition, I drove my Shark, and I immediately regretted not driving my Shark in the competition because the Shark just handled so much better. But
I think that same day, I literally had the same conclusion.
yeah, even Nick told me, he's like, I was driving with Nick, and he's like, "Why didn't you drive this during the comp?" And I was like, "Dude, I don't even know."
Because I ran my Yogi that day,
Yeah.
like in the comp. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. And then I drove my Shark like at the end of the day. And I'm like, yeah,
Oh, the one at PDX.
mm-hmm.
Yep.
The one at PDX.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, like Neil runs an MC1 and it drives good, but it's like, I don't know. I guess it's all just personal preference and what the end user likes.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess driver characteristics go into that choice a lot, right? Because the MC1, I would say it's more focused on being a light chassis rather than being fully loaded. Like a typical MC1 is going to weigh around 13 to 1400 grams.
Yeah.
Whereas my Shark is going to be 1550. Like everyone's Shark is, with the exception of Lance's Megalodon, was around 1500 plus. I'm curious of what the Hydra is, because it's kind of the same idea. Even less carbon actually, but
their deck is really, really slim.
Yeah. But as far as like driving comparison, I like my Shark better. Like it feels a little bit better on the like forward motion, the forward bite. Like it just gets up and goes a lot better than my MC1 did. Although at the same time, the reason why I don't have a full size MC1 anymore is because I could never get my MC1 to drive right.
So here's a crazy thing. Obviously, you saw the post that Kenny made with the high mount motor on the MC1 with the Ford ESC.
Yeah.
Because, I talked to him. That's how I run my Shark. So he tried that. And I drove his car last night, and it drove really freaking good. It has that forward grip like a Shark does. So I think it's just basically electronics placement. It's moving the weight around.
Well, I mean, I'm sure there's more to it than just that, right? Because the motor is like it's your typical sideways, right? Position. So I'm wondering if it has more of the fact like the torque of the motor being there as well, like where not just pushing down, but where the center of the rotation of the motor is compared to like where it's torquing on the actual chassis. I think that has a lot to play with it as well.
Yeah. But it drives really good. It was just kind of crazy.
Yeah. Both are still good. Both like
yeah.
But Shark is more expensive. Altogether, Shark is more expensive.
Yeah.
Judd, I still prefer my Shark over the RDX, but the RDX drives good.
I halfway agree with him on that one, because I just feel like the Shark, like it's just the RDX is kind of boring to drive. Like it's not very exciting. It just continuously does what it does. Good, but it's not exciting to drive, like my Shark is super exciting. I don't know. It's just always kind of keep you on edge.
Right.
But I feel like and Judges is the same way. But I don't know. Actually, I brought a YD2 S Plus last night, and I drove that quite a bit too. And that was I had more fun driving that than any of my other cars.
Isn't that funny? Like today I was driving around my Wrap Up Next Mini with the high motor mount, high motor mount and high battery, where the battery is literally up at the top of my body. And honestly, so I thought it drove good last week. It drives great today. Like it was epic.
What did you change on it from last week?
So battery placement. So I got rid of the spare battery.
Oh, that's yeah. I remember you talking about that.
Yeah, so it was just that one single battery, just like super high up into the roof of the car. And
Yeah.
honestly, something about that center battery placement is money about that car. Like it's good. And probably has something to do with the Yokomo LTS knuckles.
Oh,
Like,
that's right. Yeah, you have some of those.
mhm.
Yeah.
There's nothing special about them though. Like if you just extend the top of the knuckle,
Yeah.
that's all it is. Like if you're
Yeah.
running a high enough offset wheel so that it
Mhm.
clears, then you're fine. Totally
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. That's how I ran at my Travis before I got the wrap up next knuckles. I just ran, Rev D knuckles,
Hmm.
offset the wheel a lot.
Let's see. Judd's is 1559 as of last night. Yeah, sharks are not light cars.
Yeah. 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 They're not.
And yet for some reason they move and move really, really well. And honestly, the weight could be the key there.
I think it plays a big role in it for sure. Actually, because so I went through a lot driving my RDX last night, different configurations on weight and where to put stuff in shock, angle, springs, up or down. And ultimately, I found that the stock setting for the shocks, where they put them on the lower arm, I don't know if you can even see this or not, but it's the second hole from the outside in.
Mm-hmm.
And then the spring, the dual coil on the top, that's what the RDX kit comes with or recommends. And then I added, I don't even know, 10, 20, like 30 grams of weight onto the rear shock tower,
Mm-hmm.
the body mount, and it drove the best in this setup.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. But I also have low motor and way forward ESC. So yeah, I changed it up quite a bit since that last photo.
Oh, actually, that brings up a good question. Are you for the center ESC now? Like ESC in the front?
Yeah, since building the Shark and running the Shark, I've been like kind of going that route a lot more now, and it's been really good.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a balance because you still want weight on the back, but it's all about where you put the motor.
Right. Too much weight is a thing. It's a real thing.
Mm-hmm. I remember, just before we got the Shark at Northwest, Alex, Neil, and myself all had matching YD2 S Plus, and we all had the electronics, everything in the exact same spots, and we could do tandems in my garage like no tomorrow. Like we were door to door, it was
Right.
It was great.
I mean that makes sense, right? It's like if everything's tuned the same, then all cars are gonna have the same response. So
Yeah.
it's just a matter of the driver kind of figuring out what the person's doing in front of you.
Yep, but those cars just drove so good.
Right. But that's so long ago.
I just got
Why
that
did you?
memory.
Let's see. You have to drive the Shark and drive it at deep angle. Yeah, and honestly, the Shark has the ability to drive at deep angle, and I think that's the best part about it. Speaking of battery placement, the MST RMX RT drives amazing with battery pinch between the motor mount and rear shock tower up high.
Yeah, he could get it higher too. After he makes his own mount, it'll probably drive even better.
Like where I had mine to begin with.
I don't remember where yours. His is like, where the motor's out on the MRX. It's kind of like
right.
No, it's farther back. His is farther.
Right.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's where he has it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where I had this battery before. Then I moved it up here.
So Judd, if you're watching or listening, do this.
Yeah, it's literally in the middle of the chassis.
Yeah,
but it's high. It's hilarious when it goes around the track because it's a Miata, so it just doesn't look right.
What's the forward to rear weight bias on that?
65 on the rear, 65/35.
That's good.
It's pretty close.
Yeah, that's what I try and shoot for, is in that range.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's crazy with such a forward battery. It's still so heavy in the rear.
So, Judd, since you are a crawler, you probably have a ton of these little like 4-link extensions here. So either that or get your set of the brass computer standoffs.
Yeah, just stack them.
Yeah, I mean that's what my top brace is. Like
Yeah.
that's
Oh yeah.
that's all that is. Lance gave me credit for being the most utilized brass standoffs ever. Like, yeah, you're right. You're not lying.
Jed, you can get those on Amazon for super cheap. Probably have them tomorrow.
Mm. Yep. With that much weight shift, are you sacrificing performance? Surprisingly, no. Like, that's it. It is genuinely surprising. Like, I can keep up. Like, I was keeping up with Cameron earlier today, like perfectly fine. Like,
Yeah.
it's more snappy than my other cars are just because of the amount of weight, and it's not lazy either. Like, it's still
Yep.
aggressive. Like, you can drive it in a sense that makes it still fast and fun to drive. And speaking of fun to drive, like, that's why I don't drive my Yogi right now. Because the Yogi just kind of drives, you know, it just goes. That's it. One thing, so this is the Razor, this is actually for the Yogi, this battery deck here.
Yeah.
It has these chamfered little slides, right? So you can move the battery forward and backwards over the motor where it's supposed to be at. So if you can do that, or you can get a little bit of adjustment out of it, that is sick. What I did is I put my little Rev D thingamabobs.
Oh.
Yeah, from the rear knuckles. That's what those are.
Oh yeah. Yep. I see.
So yeah. TK block the world, man. You get extra
Yeah.
parts.
Exactly. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Let's see. Brian, let's go with what RTR would you recommend to new people, Red Cat RDS or MSC RMX? If we're talking about RTRs, I'm still a fan of the RMX.
Yeah.
Like, you get more carbon with the Red Cat, but at the same time, the RMX is, I think, still the better chassis and with more parts support.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Absolutely.
Even though,
go ahead.
even though the fact that you can't find like all of the important parts online anymore.
Getting obsolete. But I was talking to Alex speaking about last night. Actually, I was like, I want to get 2 bone stock ready to run RMXs and have a comp with that. Like, everyone just like draws to see what color car they're going to drive, and that's it.
Bet.
So just use those 2 cars for an entire competition. That would be a lot of fun.
You think we can get Kevin on board with that?
As to like what, buy the cars or do that?
To buy the cars.
I don't know. That's a hard one. Maybe.
To use them as rental cars the next day.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know. It's the whole the rental drift car thing is pretty difficult because it's like, I mean, obviously you can't break these things. Like, you can't damage them if you're not careful with it. So it's like, you don't want to sit there and babysit them. But it's like, I don't know. That's a tough one.
I just hate the idea of it because, well, I've said it multiple times before, right? It's like, we're drifting. We tailor make these cars to us for a reason, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, just picking up a car and trying to drift just because you want to, like, it doesn't work.
Yeah. You're getting like a small, like I don't know, like a 30% taste of what it actually is. Maybe more, I don't know, but it's difficult. Yeah.
We should just do the Super G competition like that. Only the RMX.
The whole series.
Like, okay, you guys, we have a new rule. We are going to standardize the chassis, as in, you don't need to bring a chassis. We'll provide it for you.
Got you. Just bring a battery, 4 mil bullets.
Like, not even battery, right? It's like, we'll grab all of that. That'd be hilarious. I'd love to do that.
Funny. That would be really funny. Yeah. I think it was Charlie. I was like, I'm going to use a different chassis for every comp.
Um, yeah, that would be good, dude. Tandem Tuesday comps. That would
Yeah.
be a sick setup for Tandem Tuesday comps.
Yeah, actually, that would be
Because then it comes down to driver.
exactly 100%. No one can run away from the other one because they got a faster car or whatever.
Hmm. Even
It's
on
just-
the MST Silver Dot tires that they have.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm game. I'll
I think
totally.
it would be cool. I think it'd be really cool.
So I don't remember how much like cost is on those, but it wouldn't be terrible.
Yeah, I think they were like under $300. I think I don't remember.
Well, so what 389 is retail cost right now.
Is that the ready to run?
Yeah, that's the ready to run. That is retail costs. It might have gone up a little bit because of the 2.5, but
Okay, yeah. I was gonna ask if that was 2 or 2.5.
it's only the 2.5 now. Like 2.0s is you're just getting leftover stock,
Yeah, it's kind of what I figured, but whatever.
and the 2.5 is the way to go anyway.
Let me look it up on A-Man here. See, because I'm like really curious about this. Yeah, 390.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. And the thing is that the new gyro that they include is fine, right? It's just
Yeah.
the servo that craps out really, really fast.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, what if a car does break? Then what do you do? And it's like,
Upgrade them equally.
yeah, exactly. That'll get expensive quick for me.
Right.
So, but like, well, I already replaced the servo. Might as well get a friggin' AccuVance ESC.
Well, okay, but so with this being said, would we upgrade a radio to like a Noble?
Yeah,
Or just
but
say
nobody's
like
not even that cheap though. Even
they're 250.
yeah, that's a lot of money. You have to buy 2 of them.
I understand, but
Get a Fly Sky, like $70 or something. I don't even know.
the GT5.
Yeah, works
No.
for men.
No. Okay. Between the GT5 and the RTR radio, I could get by with the RTR radio.
Oh my gosh.
Honestly, if the RTR radio had a functional third channel, it would be fine.
Yeah,
Like it would be so much like just having the ability to adjust the third channel would be groundbreaking
yep.
for an RTR. Yeah, let's get on that. Let's make that work because I'm totally
I
on
think
that
it'd be-
train.
Yeah,
Let's just do it with Red Cats.
yeah, that's another possibility. I mean, either whatever. I don't really care. Just any ready to run car.
Yokomo DP.
Oh my god, I'm not gonna even go down that road. Those are terrible. Brushed. we have to do it with brushed, ready to run Yokomos.
Okay. TTO2 with the MRC rear wheel drive conversion. It's the same
I don't
thing,
think
right?
Buy any of that stuff, yeah.
Because what the chassis itself is what like $100 and some odd dollars, and then the
Yeah, like $110, I think. I don't even know.
anyway, which is
Yeah.
funny because as far as TTO2s go, did you know that the Subaru Subaru GR86 is the cheapest body that you can buy as a TTO2?
Oh, really?
Yeah, because like if you look at TTO2 pricing, the whole variation is based off of the license for the car.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
It's stupid. Oh, okay. What else do we got? Red Cat guys are on the podium here in Texas. I haven't seen an MST at comp lately. Yeah, I mean that's true.
Mhm. Yeah.
I don't think we had any RMXs at our last competition either.
You would be the one to know.
I know that's.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me check.
Actually, God, I feel like his name is Brandon. He drives the black and yellow Mustang RMX. He just bought a Yokomo last night from Kevin, so
Right on.
he's over the RMX.
Yeah, no RMXs in our last competition.
Yeah, there you go.
We had D5s, just no RMX.
Yeah. 5 over an RMX.
So
Yeah,
that's
now
interesting.
I need to buy an RMX to.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was our very first competition. Hold on. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Oh, round one. Yeah.
Yeah. No, not even round one.
Oh, like way back. Okay.
Like in October. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
no
I
RMXs.
yeah.
Okay, I'll compete with my RMX VIP.
There you go.
Let's see. To do. Seeing the loaner at PDS get people hooked though. Yeah, okay. That's not a joke. That's truth. It can give a person like some sort of like insight in terms of just being blind to buying into something. But at the same time, I would instead of renting a car, I would go to the track on like whenever everyone's there. So drift till midnight day, right?
Yep.
And then like start asking questions to the right people, and then like eventually you can usually get to the point of asking if you can drive their car. And if you ask me, I'm definitely going to let you drive my car.
hmm Yeah, for me, depending on what car, absolutely. The only
Mhm.
car I probably will not let any random person drive would be my Shark, just because of the body.
Okay, so it's body for you. It's not anything mechanical.
No, just because the body's really expensive. That's the only reason. But otherwise, I don't really care. Drive whatever.
It's got the IS body on it.
Yeah, the Yokomo has a.
Gotcha. Pull servo first day and slap rev. Okay. Bring receiver and transmitter and get a car provided.
What?
Charlie, bring
Oh
a.
yeah. You wish, Charlie.
I mean, that could be a thing, but then we would have to wait for everybody to
Yeah,
like get
that
their
would
car
take a
set up.
lot. Exactly. Yeah. That's right.
And if we did it that way, we would need to like literally have a fleet of cars,
Yeah.
not just two.
Yeah. You'd have to have a couple like backup, like in queue for the next round. Yeah. Man, that would be so much fun. Gosh, I want to do this.
Oh, this is a different camera. Oh, dang it. Oh, other Coke. Okay. Anyway, other stuff. Never mind. Never mind. 4 p.m. is as low as you should go on the fence about Noble. Yeah.
hmm
Yeah. Like on it, honestly, Noble. Noble over 4 p.m. Like 4 p.m. can do more than Noble, but Noble feels so much better in the hand than the 4 p.m. does. Like the Noble feels so much like feels like you're holding something instead of just like a plastic toy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the 4 p.m. feels really cheap. I bought one and then like I didn't really care for when I sold it like immediately.
I mean, I rage quit on mine just because I was having that problem and I couldn't update the firmware. So
Yeah.
huzzah. Brian, D5 for the win. Judd, round one had an MRX. I think DJ drove his. I drove it too. It handled way nice. Dude, that VIP has more flex than wet pasta. So
Who is that?
I think he's referring to my VIP
Oh.
because it has the Razor deck. If you think if you're saying that mine has more flex than wet pasta, you should see Jake's RC926 chassis. That thing is stupid.
Actually, I want to say Lance's Shark it has more flex than my RC926 deck.
You think?
I think so. Yeah. Well, definitely now because I'm running the top brace and that thing like stiffened it up a lot. But yeah, I was messing with his at PDX a while ago and it was just like insane.
So between those chassis and then Harvey has the beast mode or the Team Jordan YD2 conversion, and that thing flexes like no other.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy like how close we're getting to the whole like monopod design on the rear without even doing it. DJ,
I need to put my RC926 deck on my Shark and drive it and see how it feels.
which one do you want to see? Do you want to see the RMX again? Everyone's seen that chassis. But let me know. Um, Jeez. Okay. This goes over so much better with two people, Jake. You don't even know.
I feel like we're like way I'm not even like on any topic.
We're
But
not on a topic.
just chatting
I
about whatever.
I haven't even done calendar events yet. I just got Beast Mode 420, looking forward building. Is that the which Beast Mode conversion is that? The other one, thanks. Be more specific. I don't know what the other one is.
The other one? There's too many other ones. There's like, yeah. How many ready to run cars do you have right now?
5.
Okay.
Are we gonna play that game?
I was just curious because I'm a little out of control lately and I need to either sell some or just like chill out. I don't know.
I need a good ESC and motor. Well, no, I just need a good ESC for my Mini, for the
What do
highway
you
shift
have?
Mini. It's a Orion R10 Pro from back in the day,
Oh,
and I don't have the programmer. Like the programmer is MIA, so I can't do anything with it.
you're just locked into whatever it is.
Yeah, it's just stock blinky mode.
Oh,
I
gosh.
guess it's not blinky mode because it has reverse. Do.
Hmm.
Let's pause. We're gonna do calendar events since we haven't
Yeah.
done that yet.
Yep.
Okay, so calendar events. Tandem Tuesday is a thing. It's a small little mini competition at PDX Underground RC. They've been kind of small in crowd, but it's more a consistency thing than anything else. So the more that it happens, the more people are going to show up, the better you are going to be in terms of your nerves, and
Mhm.
that's going to be true no matter what.
Yep.
So-
And they're doing a track change on Monday, so it'll be a fresh layout.
Cool, and it's what, free Glizzy's Day, free hot dog day.
Free hot dogs. I think he does it every Tuesday. Seems like that's been the thing.
Mm-hmm. That is a thing.
Yeah.
So I forget what times that happens at. Judd, what time does Tandem
Yeah,
Tuesday
you
like start? Also coming up, June 24th and 25th is the RC Hoarders at RC Swap Meet. 24th is 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. The 25th is 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's at 10317 Southeast 82nd Avenue in Happy Valley, Oregon. It's the what is it? The Hobbytown, USA.
Yeah.
It's a Hobbytown. So if you are interested in doing the swap meet, it's $15 per day or $25 for both days. Call ahead for registration. Round 3, because that's 3 or 4 weeks away now.
It's like right around 4 weeks. Yeah.
June
July
9th. Yep. July 9th. July 9th is round 3 at Northwest Hobbies in Albany, Oregon. Same timeline as usual. Doors are going to open at 11, and then we'll kind of do things as we will. However, at the same time, we'll probably run qualifying and tandems back to back, so we just get it done and
Yeah.
over with.
Just knock it out. Yeah. And I've submitted the scores to Steve. I know that they've been buried and haven't been able to update their site yet, but I kind of went through, did some math, and kind of got everyone placed kind of what I was thinking that they might end up in. So if you want to know, reach out.
Sure. I mean, I have a pretty good idea of what it is right now, but
I'm just saying
Okay.
anybody in general
Gotcha.
whoever was on the chat.
yeah.
But it looks like DJ and Judd said Tandem Tuesday starts at 7 p.m. So
And right now there's still minimal people, so it is kind of like a go there, show up, get it done type of
Yeah.
thing. And
just hang out.
it's also not like a single elimination type of thing. Like they go and go and go. I forgot how is it like round robin style, something like that.
I'm not even sure.
Because I know like you're just not immediately eliminated, but anyway, like they have a good time. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Charlie's in my DMs now. I want to know.
Hey Logan.
Charlie, you're sick.
So we have ideas about prizes for
Yeah.
for the competition. I think they're sick. Jake thinks they're sick. Our out of town friend thinks they're sick.
I think everybody would like them. I mean, it's staying with the theme of different stuff.
Mhm. Which, if we're a go, then I actually need to go and buy them tomorrow so we don't miss out on the sale.
Oh, does it end tomorrow?
Sunday. It's a 4-day
Tomorrow.
sale.
Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah. Get on it.
Yeah. Okay.
You have to go to Kaiser to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I could go to Eugene, but I like Kaiser better.
Yeah.
Okay. No. That takes care of calendar events. So if you're coming, come in. Like, come and hang out, have fun. Drift Till Midnight is every single Friday, basically. So go
Yep.
have fun over at PDX. What do we got? We need to beat Andy.
I guess he might not even be there on Tuesday. So
That's a bummer.
I know. I'm like really, really hoping to go on Tuesday. And then I heard that and I was like, well, geez, maybe I shouldn't even go.
Oh, we're to that point now. Where
Well,
Nate,
I can't use up all of my, hey, wife, can I go play with RCs on just a random Tandem Tuesday that Andy doesn't even show up to? So,
he's racing motorcycles. He's doing
Yeah.
real racing.
yeah. So, geez, man. Dang it.
I
don't
mean,
know.
if you were given the opportunity to like go to like Affinity Circuit or just up at Willows or Spirit Peaks, yeah, would you go and drift? I'd go and drift if I actually had a car.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, it's yeah. Okay. What chassis does Jake run? And show your bodies so I can check your vibe.
Show whose bodies?
Your bodies.
Mine?
So, yeah,
Oh man, it's gonna take a while, dude. We gotta go on a field trip for that one.
right?
I got a new body last night and it's right here.
So, okay, here's what Jake does. He goes on to Bai
Yeah.
and he'll just outbid you. He'll
No.
he'll snipe you.
I actually got this from James last night for $50.
All right, on. MSC body?
No, ABC.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. It fits the RDX perfect, and it had magnets on it, so I just like slapped it on and just started driving with that last night.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet. I mean, James only has the RDX now, so it's not like he needs his other
Yeah,
bikes.
and so he told us last night his wife said he's only allowed to have 5 bodies, so that's why he had to sell that one
That's funny.
because let's get a new body.
I mean, okay, I kind of sympathize with that because I have just body, like there's a body.
Yeah.
There's 3 more bodies just hanging back there, just like
Yeah.
on a whim. They're not attached to anything. They're just sitting. So yeah, I can get that. I can get behind that.
I told him, I was like, if that's the case, I'd have to get rid of like a couple chassis because like, yeah, I have too many bodies, too many chassis, too many
Yep.
everything.
John wants to see your comp body.
Okay, hang on.
It's highly desired and super expensive.
I mean, you could just Google it. There's just the Yokomo
mhm.
HKS Altezza. Hopefully he's watching and sees it. So yeah.
Your guy's head is fixed, right? Or does it move?
Yeah. No, he doesn't move in there.
I was watching one of Vittorio's YouTube videos, and the guy's head, his guy's head, like swivels.
Yeah, because I think he showed like a thing on his Instagram about doing that. He like drilled it out and like just put it on like a swivel bolt or something. I don't remember.
It's
So-
cool. Like,
Yeah. He must have it like weighted or like mounted perfectly because like when he like enters in a corner, the head just moves a certain amount, so it's like looking out the thing. It doesn't like spin full 360,
Mhm.
or at least it usually does not.
Aza, are you talking about the real car or just the body? I'm guessing probably real car.
The real car, I don't like $9,000, I guess.
That sounds about right.
Yeah,
Because
I just looked.
John had one.
Yeah, I just looked the other day on Altez IS 300s to see, but
Yeah, they're still good looking cars. Just right out of whatever stock car.
yeah,
I asked Jake about that. I've been working so much I miss coming out. They are cheap in New Zealand. Man, there are so many cars that I wish we could get into the States that
Oh my
are
God.
cheap.
yeah,
It sucks.
1,500 USD. Oh my gosh, that's so cheap. I used to be able to buy 240s for that much in America, but not anymore. Even less than that, actually. Ready to run, like fully driving 240s for $750.
Yeah, not anymore.
Dude, yeah. I at one point in time I had 5 240s because I just bought them for so cheap.
John, do you guys run light kits? It makes it more fun. For me, I always run driver also. Run a driver also. The driver. I personally do not run light kits anymore. I'm over the wiring nightmare and mess that it can be.
Yep. I have 2 bodies with light kits and I don't even use those bodies. And if I do, I don't plug the lights in.
And like I've had all the cool ones too, right? Like the best light kit that I've ever used is the OB1 light kit from back in the day. It was basically an all-in-one unit box that you would like tack to the top of your body, and then it had everything from like 3 strobes in the front with turn signals that go with your car, so left or right, with brake and reverse lights, and with a backfire light before any of this backfire crap was like the backfire light.
Yeah.
Slacker. I'm a slacker. Yes, I'm a slacker.
Dude, I don't have the patience to like run the wiring and like have to plug it in every single time that I take the body on or off. I'm like, I'm not into that.
Charlie's car. Charlie has pop-ups.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Which he says that he'll not do it again.
Yeah, not doing it. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You do 1 or 2 and you're like, all right, I'm done.
I mean, okay, here's how I see it, because like bodies are a come and go thing for me, right? Yep. It's like you run them, they get trashed, and then it's gonna be gone. Exactly, the bodies that I have done lights on, like they are absolutely beat to crap, and it's like I don't really want to do anything. Like lights are too much work for me.
Yeah, there's like a handful of bodies I have that I probably will never get rid of, but it's like I still won't put light kits in them because it's like I like keeping the bodies light.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess, because it goes into driving style too. Although now with all this weight being introduced in the right places, it could be worth revisiting without too much harm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me know if you guys actually want to see a video about like either a produced video, like shortened video about like the 550 and like just setting that stuff up again, because I know I did like videos for receiver stuff and like a long form video of the AccuVamp stuff with John. Do you guys want me to do like a condensed version of that, so like rolling garage style but try to be less boring? Or do you want to do it like on a live stream? Because it's been a while. It's been a while since we've talked about that. But nothing has changed either, so it's like, just go back and watch the video.
You could make like multiple videos just on each like topic, so you can just like post them all, so people, they don't have to like sift through one 30-minute video to find one specific thing, you know?
Mm-hmm. I mean, the timestamps are there. You just need to click on
Oh,
it.
that's true. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. If less boring, I do think that the Rolling Garage video is very boring.
Yeah. I was watching it before I went to bed, and then I started falling asleep.
So if you want to fall asleep, go watch it. But I mean, okay. In all honesty, it's very straight and to the point, and it gets the job done. So
yeah, both of the videos are very, very knowledgeable. So
there's a little funny little tidbit for when we're like swapping camera angles in the middle. Oh no, or that was when my camera died, so I needed to change battery. I think that's what happened.
oh,
And a spider happened while we were recording. Anyway, I'm going back to my 550, so anything helps. God bless. How are your feelings about that now? Because are you strictly Revox?
no, I still have 2 cars with 550s, and they'll stay 550s. I like them. I still like them a lot. I just like having just a simpler, like, so I'm just always changing cars, going to different tracks all the time. It's just easier for me to just hit a button or change my gain, and that's it, versus TR slide speed, et cetera, et cetera. So,
Well, okay. Let's expand the window though. So, because the 550 does have the capability of running 5 different saving 5 different profiles under the S bus port.
yeah, but then
you lose everything else.
yeah, it's a whole nother headache to like go through. You got to get all that set up to be able to save all this stuff and do all that, versus it's already saved on my gyro. I just push a button. How many times is a flash? That's what profile I'm running. So
Right.
It's not like, oh, I don't like 550s. I love them, and I have one on my YD2S and my Mini, and they will stay on those cars because it's just like perfect for those cars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cameron and I were talking about it earlier today. The idea of when you have like a V4 or a Revox gyro, it's more so that you're tuning the car in line, like with how the gyro responds to you, right? So you're doing a lot more like turning of the spring collars, setting ride height a lot more than just making the car do what you need it to.
Yep.
So like both gyros, all of the gyros that are out right now do the job. Just make sure that like the gyro that you do choose has real endpoint adjustments, right?
Yes.
Because I've been called out by literally saying that the GYD 450 and the 470 don't have true endpoint adjustment, and they don't, but they do, because you're just limiting the arc like in unison together instead of one and one. So like, yes, it does, but you have to make sure that your car is perfectly set up too. So yes. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Because our cars aren't perfect.
No. I mean, yeah, I think it was the last one you were talking about, or maybe one of the last ones, setting, I think it was like the one with the setup stations. It's like you can put a car in there, set everything up, make your turnbuckles the exact same lengths and all that, but you put it all on, you put a camber gauge on, and they're off like 1 or 2 degrees.
Yep.
That drives me freaking crazy. I'm like, how is this happening? But
so
it happens.
On like the second generation Yokomo steering bulkhead for the slide rack, the biggest contributor to that, because you know how the slide rack is like, it's the carbon sandwich, right? With the little triangle that attaches to the bulkhead, right?
Yeah.
So that little triangle has enough tolerance where it can change your toe in by like a full-on degree.
Jeez.
So it's the small annoying stuff like that is like the hidden secrets that you learn over time, but it's just super annoying when you learn them, because it's like, really, this is all that it was.
It's just probably a 10-minute fix, and rewriting a program to machine it out. And nope.
Yep. Yeah. Logan, have we talked about ST 2.0 yet? Not on stream. No, we haven't. Let me see if I can nab a picture of it for you. We're going to Yokomo ST 2.0.
Steve picked up a Revox today. Nice. You're gonna like it.
Who did?
Let's see, where is it at? Max Now. Now, I don't know how to pronounce your last name, and I'm sorry.
Oh. Honestly, okay. From my experience with the Revox, because it was in the SX3 that I sold you type of thing.
Yeah.
The car was super easy to drive with the Sandmoss setup in there too. Like,
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I loved it, so I bought it.
right.
Like, it's so good.
And then I bought the MD 1.0 and almost immediately got rid of that. Oh boy. I love the MD1, don't get me wrong. It's just a boring car for me to not play around with.
Yeah.
Which is why I think I'd have the same type of problem with an RDX. At least for me. You know what I mean?
You're not wrong, dude. You're not wrong. Yeah. It's just, like I said, it's just a boring car because you can't change anything on it. Like, as far as, I mean, if you want to change out to, adjustable turnbuckles and all that stuff, then yeah, it unlocks all sorts of stuff. But it's like, the car's so good, why would you want to even mess with it?
Yep.
And that's just, and then you're like, damn it, I have nothing to do. I have nothing to tinker with. So
that annoys the crap out of me so much.
Yeah, I love every day I mess with my cars, always changing them.
Okay. So Yokomo ST 2.0, what is it? Honestly, I think it's what the 1.0 should have been to start with. But this can have the LTS system on it too. Jake, I'm just looking at the RC Car Action page.
Yeah, that's the one we were looking at. Yep, the other day.
Yeah.
So is that an MD1 transmission, or what transmission is that?
So it's hard to see, right? I would say that it's an MD1 transmission, but the kickoff is this, and I was really happy to see this.
Yeah.
It's where is it? It's this. Oh my gosh, does it feel good to see the old toe blocks on?
Oh, I didn't even notice that. I saw you guys were talking about that in the chat, but I didn't really pay attention to it.
Okay, so I don't know if this is the actual MD1 transmission or not. It certainly looks like it, the way that it's 3D printed, right?
Yep.
Which means a few cool things. It means that drop-in transmission or drop-in drop-in differentials is a thing. I don't know how they're going to do that. Oh, actually, no, because the entire rear end is like modular. So you just unscrew it and the whole thing comes apart. But man, I'm glad that they brought the toe blocks back. It just tightens everything up. So much more easy. So I guess for a diff change in this car, it's going to be probably these three if you have them all in. So 7 screws for a diff change.
Yeah. Oh, so you're meaning, I see what you're saying. You're comparing these toe blocks to the MD1.
Yeah.
Because the MD1 got all weird with the pillow ball, like, arms and...
Yeah. And was that system enough? Yeah. The MD1 is a beast. But it still has a lot of play just because of that, the pillow balls.
Yeah.
Like, we're not talking about, like, just half a degree or just, like, minimal thing. We're talking, like, full degree change, like, active camber.
Yeah, that's not master drift status.
Now, the interesting thing is this. They went back to the old... Actually, these are modified. Or a new axle carrier. Because I'm only seeing 4. But this is still probably prototype. I'd rather see it with the H-arm, like the high vertical arm. Those are easier to adjust. But yeah, like, so this chassis does have, like, here we go. It's moving the servo to the back, like closer towards the battery. The battery is all the way as far back as the toe blocks are. So now we're actually getting to the point where this is literally a RDX.
Yeah. Your weight line is just going to be like 70-30, most likely. Probably even like more than that in the rear.
Does look like it's the stupid design for the slide rack.
Dude, that is so weird. I didn't notice it at first until Lance pointed it out. It's like a slide rack and bell crank together.
Yeah, so I think
kind of like
I think most people are actually copying Bianca, Hecotech's Bianca,
Okay.
for the placement. Like everything about from motor placement to battery placement to servo placement, like
Yeah.
reeks of Hecotech. Although on the Bianca is actually really interesting to look at too. Let me see if I can pull up the Super G picture of it. Oh, Binaka. Remember that stuff?
I've never really like looked at that one too closely.
No.
Doggo? What's up, doggo?
So this is literally the most expensive chassis conversion you like ever. It's $730 for a chassis conversion.
Jeez. That's insane.
Okay, but the thing is cool, right? And like, so this one is it's more of a bell crank than anything else. But if you look at it, the arm actually goes all the way to the front of the bulkhead, not just to the back, but to the front of the bulkhead.
Yeah.
So that like it's getting to the interesting stage of why would they do that? But I don't know. There's a point. There's a point to everything. But yeah, Hecotech has been around for quite a while. Like the Bianca, and like they also did a conversion for a DP, I think, if I remember right. Oh, the only thing that I like don't really care about is their motor mount system, because it's basically a clamp, which is like it's kind of cool, but not.
Kind of weird.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. So like it's honestly more like a racing bell crank from a buggy, because the arms are backwards, if you notice
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And then easy diff replacement. But that cost, man.
That's insane to me.
And it's funny because it pretty much immediately sold out. Mainly because like these kind of conversions are like, hey Joey, hey Steve, can you order this for me?
Yeah. They probably didn't have very many of them.
No, they didn't. But random thought of the day, we were talking about RDXs and minis. So maybe that might be procured some way or another.
I think it'd be pretty easy to do.
I still think the like doing a top plate like the RER would be kind of cool on that. But
for like electronics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like hang them upside down like the RER.
That would be wild.
Anyway. Okay. John, my car is just running so good and I'm intimidated to change back all to the 550 AccuVance comp. But it's worth it in the long run. I wouldn't call them complications, but it is a thing. It is a real thing. Like the whole idea that like once you get like a stock Zarvis or Zarvis XX from AccuVance, you do have to flash it over to the Futaba ESC or Futaba firmware for it to work. And with the like inclusion of the new S-Bus like version 2, you have to make sure that those firmwares match up with the right ESC now. So it's kind of like a hodgepodge of different problems that you need to come across and fix. But at the same time, once you get it there, you'll never have to update the firmware again. So
yeah,
slightly painful, but
it's worth it.
Yeah, it'll be a thing.
Yeah.
Not in the point that like it's god tier. Don't get me wrong. But,
no, but
like the convenience of everything AccuVance and Futaba is just so much nicer than having to go pick up your car, having to do the stupid Wi-Fi connection, having to plug in a program card, all of that.
Yeah, I was talking to Judd about it last night too. Even like just the standard like Jarvis, it's like $170. So it's really cheap and for a good ESC.
Yeah,
So
because comparatively, you can buy the race spec Hobby Wing ESC for just around $200, or the drift spec Hobby Wing EFC for $220.
yeah,
Right.
So
The rad on Super G, we're here. We're on Super G right now. Hold on.
I think that the rad is 190.
Yeah, it's not expensive.
Yeah. I just bought a Jarvis and fan for like, I think it was like 200 something.
Okay. 185. 185 without shipping. So
yeah, there you go. And actually, I think it's free shipping because it's over. So I think they just do it over a certain dollar. It's free shipping. I've never had to pay for shipping from AccuVance. So, but I've also always spent over $100.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing about AccuVance products. Their ESCs are actually priced really, really well, with the exception of the XX, right? But the expensive parts are everything else, right? Because it's not just a $185 ESC, right? It's the $60 capacitor. It's the $62 S-Bus adapter. And then if you really get into everything, it's like the trace vector, the photonic balancer, blah, 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 blah. That's where everything gets expensive.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, you got a buddy who has either a Tau or an S-Bus, and then it can be a cheap entry into AccuVance, because it's like you can have someone help tune your stuff. So I only have 2 S-Bus adapters, and I just use my Tau the rest of the time.
The thing about the S-Bus adapters is they only program the car. Everything stays within the ESC, so like you can detach that S-Bus adapter and just run your car.
Yep.
And if you're only at your home track, there's not very many times that like I'm in my ESC tuning, like just plugging away at it. But at the same time, again, it's just so convenient that you can, right? Just stop your car. Oh, I need more turbo. Bam, you're done.
I just leave it on my Shark and my Mini MC1 just because I don't even know why. The Shark obviously for a comp, but the Mini, I don't even know why I leave it on there. I don't change anything.
Ron, what's the highest PWM frequency AccuVance versus Yokomo? I think both of them are capable of 32 kilohertz. The Hobby Wing actually goes up to 48.
Yep. But the higher you go, the more it drains your battery, or like kills your battery faster. Correct?
It's that and the higher motor temps, which I don't understand why, because it's ultimately just a faster sampling rate, right? So, and it's just the input number of whatever your trigger is doing. So
yeah, I haven't really noticed, because I always run it just maxed out 32, and I've turned it down to like 16, and I didn't notice any difference in runtime on my battery. So I just put it back at 32.
I mean, think of it this way: it's like 16,000 samples versus 32,000 samples of where your trigger position is. Like,
exactly. Yeah.
Clearly there's more resolution in 32,000 or 48,000 at that, but at the same time, it's like, how much can you really feel the difference? So, yeah. Like, I do urge everyone to try that. Like, switch your car from down to like 8 kilohertz or even 1 kilohertz.
Yeah, whatever as low as it'll go and as high as it'll go, just so you have a feeling of what it's doing, and then fine tune in from there.
Exactly.
That's what we were doing with Charlie's car last night, and his messing with his gearing, his final drive ratio. He just went to one extreme to the other, from like 11 to down to 7.
Where is he sitting at now?
I think he's at like 7 something right now.
Wow.
Dark. Yeah. It's just, I don't know. It's crazy.
I mean, so if you look at the Super G photos, like, they're running a tiny spur on their Sharks.
I gave him a 74 tooth spur and a 28 tooth pinion. So I think it's like 7.1 or something like that.
Dude, he's running stock buggy. Stock buggy. It's like
You can race-
what Golden Race was like what 69 spur and like a 30 some odd tooth pinion.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yep.
It's like when you're literally running like 2-to-1 as far as your pinion to spur.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see what else do we got in chat.
Let me
'Cause-
ask you, what does a better cap do?
so let's talk at what a cap actually does for you, right?
Charlie's asking, explain it like I'm 5.
Okay.
He's running the stock. He's running the stock one on the rad. So I run. I don't know. I would say the majority of my AccuVance cars just run the stock one.
Mhm.
So yeah. But go ahead.
How to explain it? So you know when like you're running your hose, right? When you're a kid, right? You're out playing with the hose, splashing everybody, and like your brother or sister would come up and then they'd pinch the hose, right? And it just cuts off. Or like it becomes really, really weak, right? So yeah, we're gonna talk about this like a buffer. So imagine if there was like a extra tank, right?
Yeah, like a reserve tank.
Like a surge tank in a car, and that's what it's going to be pulling from, like until it runs out. So like even though that the source has been like deprecated or just like turned off by quite a bit, it's going to level things out for a while so that you either get smoother performance or cleaner power. And the more important part here is cleaner power, because dirty power is what's going to destroy your electronics.
Yep.
That was perfect. Okay.
Yep, there you go. So, I mean, yeah, but is it worth buying the AccuVance faster $70 one? No. Get something else. Get it, Oniseki one, or I don't even know who else makes them, but
so the only bad thing about the Oniseki one is that it has so much capacitance that it takes like 3 seconds for my car to like turn off.
That's true. Yeah. And it's a big aluminum case, so if you're worried about weight, you got that.
Mm-hmm. Or just make sure it's placed properly, and there you go.
Yep.
Okay, so
did you see the AccuVance made bullets for capacitors?
No, what?
Yeah, you can solder them onto the ESC and then it's like a tiny little bullet for your capacitor. I saw it on Facebook a couple weeks ago.
Oh, it was on Facebook. Okay.
Yeah.
Like the AccuVance page?
Yes.
The support group?
I think it was their actual page, Facebook page. I would imagine it'd just be under connectors on their website too, but
that's if they're available.
Yeah, it's true. This is probably only in Japan or something. I don't know.
Their AccuVance USA's page the other day was down. I'm like, uh-oh. Connectors. Regular. Whoa.
You find them?
No, that's just a terminal for it. Okay, that's not a bullet connector.
Oh, it's just a terminal?
Well, that's what this is.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. I thought it was a bullet. I don't know. I was scrolling and just noticed it and just kept on cruising. I was like, that seems dumb, but whatever.
AccuVance motor. Oh, I think I mentioned it last time, but now you can get an Agile 13.5 with the level 42 rotor in it.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Oh, here it is.
No, that's No More Miss Silver.
Yeah. Bullet connectors on a capacitor would be pretty interesting.
Seems like a bad idea to me.
I mean, as long as it was like the well, no, because it'd still be pretty bulky. Never mind.
Dude, I had the freaking bullet connectors coming out of my fledge. Like, what the hell? I had to solder the bullet to the bullet on the fledge.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't come out.
I didn't
I'm
have
gonna-
that problem.
Dude, I don't have that problem on my Mini, and all of a sudden the Shark, it's like, oh no, we're gonna fall out now.
Right?
So I don't. Yeah,
I mean-
I'm over bullets.
That's how they make money, right? Because you always have to buy new ones.
Yeah,
Oh, geez. Like having suspension on the power source. Okay, yeah. That's a good one too. Like having suspension on the power source, because
Mhm.
your source can fluctuate, or whenever you hit go into boost, your battery voltage is gonna drop
Yep.
like a rock. So that's why you have the capacitor there. Is the one that it comes with fine? Yeah. Like you could even venture to say only change it if you're like really actually experiencing problems, or if you just want to, if you really care about your electronics, you will run a capacitor like on anything just because it's cleaner power. I can't say it enough, like the dirty power even in car stereo electronics, that like the distortion is what kills your subs, will kill anything that's like audibly sonically viable, right?
yep.
To do-
Cleans up your power source, so definitely worth it, but not the AccuVance one.
I'm serious. You could probably DIY it for less than $10. True. But there is a difference, right? Because the AccuVance capacitors are solid state capacitors. So are the like all of the ones that we've mentioned earlier today. Like, so yeah, Racing, Onisiki, Yokomo, Hobbywing, like all of those are solid state, but they like you can often find the electrolytic capacitors, the cans, and yeah, those can be cheap as all get out, and you can do it for less than $10, but it's going to be bigger, like a bigger size, and it's not going to discharge as fast as those solid state caps. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Motor wires keep on backing out, solder them.
Yep. That's what I'm talking about, Charlie. I have the same issue, man.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I do wish that like the Fledge motors had a better like situation than just the bullets.
I don't really care for that at all.
Mm-hmm. Oh look, it's another challenge page. Sorry guys, I got crap for using challenge because it had ads on it. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's another subject.
Hey, look, S-Bus adapter. Hey. I was actually surprised because the new S-Bus like updater has the micro USB or USB instead of like the old mini B connector. It's a minor thing. Anyways, okay. Do any of y'all have any more questions that we can address? Did we ever get an answer for like the AccuVance Futaba videos, blah blah blah? If so, let it end here. Oh, if y'all play Diablo 4, let me know, because I'm there. Stick a small Phillips head in the bullet to spread. Yeah, but you can only do that so many times.
Yeah, you got to be careful. They'll break. I've done that.
My go-to is usually first off with an X-Acto knife, just to like just shove it in, and then I'll take like a 1.5 or like the .050 driver and just like ram it in there.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Please, videos on the Futaba. Okay. Do you want them to be live streams, or do you want me to try to reproduce like actually produce them? In comp setting, you adjust setting in the 10px. In a comp setting,
can you
adjust it? We had that question last time too. Like actually, so when we're on comp, we're not supposed to be like tinkering with our cars, right?
Oh, I mean, I don't see why not. I look at more as like you can't be wrenching on it, but like electronically, like yeah, just change more boost, whatever. Like
Honestly, I think it's like if you try to do that, it's going to be a disadvantage to you because when you make that change, usually when I make a change on my radio, it's going to take me a few laps to like
Yeah,
self-adjust,
yeah.
right? So, if anything, it's a disservice to you rather than like unless you know your car, right? Unless you have
Yep.
like a specific profile that you use for certain
Yeah,
scenarios.
exactly. Yeah.
I would call that very gray matter.
Yeah, definitely.
What is that?
Push my cart the last because I didn't know rules. No, don't be scared, dude. We're
And
not super strict about it.
yeah, honestly, like even if someone does do that, no one's really gonna like rip your head off.
The only thing we're paying attention to, honestly, is just tires. That's it. If you go scuff your tires up or change them, obviously that's going to be a DNF or a disqualification. But if you want to like change camber, I personally don't care, but I'm not a judge. So,
Ron, you mentioned the Yokomo Wi-Fi adapter. As long as it works.
yeah, you can get signal to your car.
Yeah, so it's as long as it works, and that goes for the Hobby Wing too, which is like this is why I give so much glory to the AccuVant setup because it's through the radio protocol. Like you're gonna be able to program your car as far away as like you can see your car, right? With the AccuVant setup with Futaba.
Yeah.
Whereas too many times I've seen like, hey, I can't connect to my Hobby Wing connector, or hey, what's the Wi-Fi password? How do we reset this thing?
Yeah.
So that's the only reason why I give the AccuVant so much praise, just because of the convenience of it. Let's see. Whatever is easier for you to do, I'll have to rewatch it multiple times. Honestly, live streams are so much more easier than produced things. Like 100%, because listening to your voice, if you're the one that's producing and like scrubbing through the video so many times, man, does it get old. Earlier, Kevin was trying to adjust his ESC, save his drift settings to someone's buggy ESC. That'd be funny. Could you imagine a mod car just taking off with like 60 degrees of timing down the straight?
That'd be pulling some hard wheelies.
It's like talk about an ESC fire right there.
Yeah. Here's a good question for you. What do all I need to run AccuVant through? Like 10px?
Yeah, Jake. You have a 10px.
What do I all need to run AccuVants?
What do you need?
Oh, just the S-Bus.
Yep.
Yeah. And then obviously, like you said earlier, just make sure everything is up to date. And I think that's pretty much it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because the 10px, your receivers for your 10px should be good to go.
Yep. So just so you know, if you're using the R334 receiver, anything all the way back to version, it has to be version 4 at least as far as the receiver goes. Which if you buy a new receiver today, it's most likely going to be version 5. The only time that you really need to update a receiver is if you bought it from someone else.
Yeah.
Like old stock. And then as far as the 404 receivers, I don't think there's any updating that needs to happen with that. However, there is version 2.0 up on the Futaba USA site. So there's that. The dude was adjusting his at the same time and saw it change. That'd be interesting. It's like, well, but wait. Who?
I'm confused on that one.
Yeah, because like, was he like driving the car at the same time, and that's when he? Because I know in the Hobby Wing one, like your car has to be stopped to be able to program it, and then
like
for it
to write it.
Yeah, and then to drive again, you have to go back into real-time data before you can drive it. Although that's the drift spec one, I don't know if that's the race one. Anyway, yeah, that's funny though. It's like, holy crap, my car is so much faster now. I don't know what I did.
They were both adjusting via Wi-Fi. And Kevin saved. They're wrong, sitting on the wrong car. Oh.
And everybody, for Wi-Fi security, that is why you have passwords on your Wi-Fi.
So I'm guessing they're right next to each other, and they got linked to the wrong cars.
That's what it sounds like.
That would be so freaking funny.
Could you imagine, like,
Oh
a
my
stock
God.
blinky car? Be like, oh, I don't remember putting a blinky setup on my car. I'm just gonna
Right.
like rail this car to death with drift settings. So that would mean like 17.5 would instantly get 20 degrees of boost and like 25 degrees of turbo,
Yeah.
and whatever it has on the can, which stock cans are like all the way up.
The buggy guys don't like us as is, dude. Imagine messing with their tunes, blowing their car up.
You can't change the password on the Yoko Wi-Fi with iPhone. Well, that's stupid.
Android, dude. Get with it.
It was like the old days when you had to check crystals. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
funny. That is great.
I had that conversation last night at the track as well because somebody had a Spectrum and it was beeping, and I turned it off because they were like off doing something. And I
Mhm.
guess their car was sitting in the pits, like, or the parking area, just doing donuts.
Really, because the car.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know that. I'm like, I felt bad, but he's like, I didn't know it was going to do that either. So
That's funny because like
it was with somebody else just thought that he was sitting there just doing donuts. He was gone.
right, because like you have to say, like turn off your car and then turn off your radio, right? Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah. I just thought, I mean, a lot of people always just leave the radios on, but they don't leave their cars on, you know?
Mhm.
So I thought the battery was going dead, or what. It was a Spectrum, and it was just freaking out. So I was just turn it off.
Right, but like we all do that.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
I will say that so Futaba is safe. You can have multiple cars on and like switch in between different cars,
Yep.
and you're totally safe.
Not gonna run away.
Sanwa, you better turn your car off.
You can link two cars to one, like at the same time. You can drive two cars at the same time.
Yeah, multiple times. Multiple
Yeah.
times have I had control of two cars at the same time. One time it was at the expo, and I accidentally drove my car off the table while my car was like just out on the track. Like,
Lance did that one time when we were at a parking garage in Salem, and I don't know I think he had to have had Futaba, and I don't know how it worked out, but he was able to drive his Boso van and like his whatever other car, YD2, at the same time. And so we lined him up, like we put him apart and tried to get him to like do tandem with his own cars, but it didn't work out.
I mean, clearly, right?
Yeah, we did a lot of math. We're like, okay, I think they need to be at least 2 feet apart from each other. So when they enter in, they can like, yeah, no, it didn't work.
Pretty sure the only way to accomplish that with one driver is if you use the spear hook from Speed Racer, like latch it from underneath.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, last thing, and we're gonna finish up with Ron here. I have a driver with a Futaba setup using S-Bus on his Futaba servo. For some reason, servo is super twitch, and the turn radius on the transmitter is super short to full lock. Okay, so if it's the Futaba servo, you need to go into the S-Bus settings of the servo and make sure that those endpoints are set properly. And when I'm saying endpoints, the actual like endpoints of like left and right that are in the S-Bus servo settings. You don't know this, Jake.
No, I'm reading his follow up. 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock, and the chassis is at full lock.
Yeah. So there's that part of it. And then there's also the whole like what the 550 does like when you're trying to adjust versus like when it's just working. So already like when you're going into your gyro settings on your 550, it's going to multiply it by 1.5 times for when you're just looking at the car. So whenever you're setting it, it's not necessarily what you're actually setting it to, right? Also, when you're adjusting the endpoints, well, what I do is I adjust the endpoints on the servo first, right? So I have full left and full right. And I do that without the interaction with with the gyro, because I just want the servo by itself, and that's it.
Yep.
Then I introduce the gyro, and then I set the, like, you technically shouldn't have to set the endpoints of the gyro because your servo is 100% to 100% technically.
Yep.
So you can leave your endpoints at 100%, or if you need to set them, then bring them back a little bit. The follow-up part to this is that then you go into your radio settings and your radio endpoints, and then you'll bring your endpoints of the radio back so it actually matches your, like, your turning, right? So that's like, so we're talking about 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock, right? So this much arc, and you're getting full lock on either side. So bringing back the endpoints on your radio are going to expand that so that it's 100 to 100 again. 100 to 100 again. And I do think that it is really critical that that happens on the 550, because there's so many variables that can, like, actually hinder the reaction or make it better. Even, like, if you want a more snappy transition, then you can up it so that there's, like, kind of like a dead space at the end of it, so that when you're interacting with your radio wheel, it's gonna go to full lock before you think it's gonna get there. So there's a few little, like, there's a lot of different tricks that you can apply to the 550 and the Futaba servo that can get you to a certain style or a certain feeling. There's a lot of that, like, that goes on. So I'll try to remember to put those into videos. We'll see.
Yeah, there's so much information on those things. Did you ever match your regular or normal mode and ABCS mode? Like,
so that was a Groggy thing, right?
Yeah.
We picked that up from Groggy. I've never noticed a difference when they're different.
Yep.
I know Neil has said that there's a difference when you match them. I have not seen it. So.
Yep.
Could be placebo, could be a real actual thing. Who knows?
Or yeah, exactly. I don't remember. Groggy explained it to me in a very groggy way, and I picked up on, like, I don't know, like 3/4 of it.
Right.
But so I started doing it, and I was like, yeah, why not? Doesn't hurt anything.
Right.
So, yeah.
I mean, hey, if it really is placebo, at least you're thinking it and it's doing something.
Yeah.
And as long as you think that it's doing something, it could make you drive better. Like,
that's how I feel with the Revox running positive over negative or vice versa. I swear there's a difference, but there's probably not.
Okay, so part of that, I feel that just overall paperwork or, like, instructions from RevD just suck as a whole.
Yeah.
So it's like, it could be completely different. It's just
but
one.
Nothing says that on the manual or anything. So
I think the only trick that I've seen from RevD products is about the servo, and how, like, if you're using a RevD servo, go to endpoints on your what is it? Go change your endpoints on your channel 3, so your gain settings, all the way up to 120 on either side if it's a Futaba, or 150, I think, if basically expand your endpoints, because the servo can handle it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
If you look at the actual instructions, it actually says expand.
What?
Well, here we can look it up really quick.
Yeah, I might have to play with that.
RevD RC. Let's see if I can find the English version of it. We'll see. And we'll end on this, you guys.
Yeah. Someone's asking where in Salem.
Huh? What? What
The
about
question,
Salem?
Green Go Car Wash just asked where in Salem. I don't know if you're talking about where the track is or what, but
Well, there's no track in Salem.
no.
Or at least no drift track.
Yeah, it's a little bit farther south, and it's like 30 minutes from Salem and Albany, or Albany. I don't know how you pronounce it, but
Albany.
Albany.
Gringo is Jesse. Like, he's the
The lowrider, Jesse?
lowrider Jesse, yeah.
Oh, okay. What are you asking, Jesse?
Right. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, he's like, I already know whether.
Yeah, here. So about about gyro EPA on the transmitter side, in case of the deep angle, and this is what I'm talking about because it's all translation into English.
Yeah.
In case
Yeah.
of the deep angle while at drifting or the quick initiate action, please set value of channel 3 EPA on your transceiver as 110 to 120. Then driving performance will be better, but recommend to decrease the gyro gain as 70 to 90% at the same time because you're making that area bigger, basically.
Yeah. Interesting. I'll have to look into that. Try it.
Yeah, so it's not endpoints of the steering, it's endpoint of your gyro gain channel. Just to be clear.
Yep.
That is the only time that I've seen RevD like do something in terms of like telling you what to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, you guys. Well, it started off slow. I'm sorry for that, but we finished, and yeah, I'll try to plan some videos for you guys. Oh crap! Next week? No, I'll be here next week. Never mind. Yeah, I'll be here next week. So we will try to stream next week again. Hopefully everyone is on board. If you want to be on stream, let me know. As long as you're not like a jerk online, then you're probably good to go. So yeah. Anyways, you have anything to say, Jake?
Are you gonna do a track change before the next comp, or are we planning on it? I know we kind of mentioned it.
We probably should, right?
Yeah. Okay, we'll figure that out. So,
well, I guess you know my thoughts. What? You already know my thoughts.
Oh, yeah. I just wasn't sure if that was what we were going to do for sure or not. I think we should. We just got to coordinate the day.
Mm-hmm.
So
for sure.
Yeah. All right, everyone. If you're coming to the next round, expect a track change, and that'll track will stay for the rest of the series. So
yeah, because we're just gonna run parts of it, and hopefully we can fit all of it. Maybe
run reverse. I don't know. Either way, it'll be fun.
Yep. Okay, that's it. We're leaving. I'm going to bed. Yep. You guys have a good evening. Later.
See you, man.